Blood. Street.
Misery. It's 9 o'clock. It's Eagles time, and it's an undefeated season so far. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the Fly Eagles Fly podcast, formerly 4for4 podcast, and we are here on the Broad Street Misery Network. And I am Corey Alexander along with
J-Bliss.
J-Bliss, who always has some insight you have never thought of in your entire life. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He's undefeated, just like the Eagles. So welcome to the show. We have got a lot to cover over this hour. Thank you for tuning in. As always, make sure you are linked in with our Apple, our Spotify, our X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We have trivia coming up. You can win great prizes. We've got hoodies. We got T-shirts. We got mugs, glasses. We got all kinds of good stuff. So stay tuned for all that. We got good stuff. All right, Jay, you ready for this?
Absolutely.
That beatdown of the Cowboys wasn't really a beatdown, but I'll take it. You know, we're gonna lie a little bit here. So, as always, Jay, we're gonna get to the notes and the cleanup process first. We get to our game breakdown, which is coming pretty soon. You had some interesting things to tell me last week, so I'm interested to get that to our listeners. So let's start out with a couple of the big things. Number one, we have signed former Lions. In fact, he was with Cleveland to start the year, but he was then formerly the Lions. Zadarius Smith signing a one-year deal with the Eagles officially happened yesterday. Mm-hmm. So we have gotten him to the Eagles. I think it was not obvious. I mean, when you get 0 sacks a game, there's certainly something there. I did see something, by the way, before we get to other stuff, but just so I don't forget, there was a clip of Jalen Hunt. Mm-hmm. Was about a whisper. I mean, a whisper away from a strip sack, and Dax hit CD Lamb, and there's where we were driving when I think it was their second drive.
Right.
So we almost had, a change of the game right there. But it's not like these guys aren't getting home, but they're not officially getting home. So it's a good thing that we got Zadarius Smith. I think it's going to help. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Nah, I mean, Jalen Carter makes that much of a difference. So that whisper that Jalen Hunt didn't get to probably would have gotten there if Jalen Carter was playing. Like he requires a double team.
Yes.
So you got to think that maybe Zadarius Smith doesn't even get to Philadelphia in week 2 if Jalen Carter plays.
True.
He might be like, oh, we're good. You see what I'm saying? So just realize how much of a difference. And we'll see this weekend. And believe me, the Chiefs game plan for Jalen Carter, just like the Cowboys game plan for Jalen Carter, but they didn't have to worry about it once the game started. You know what I mean? So,
well, as long as none of his DNA falls out of his mouth, I think we're okay with right. Jalen Carter being, yeah. I mean, as I was telling him too, real fast on that note, it was interesting to see, like, because Vic certainly has his players and he has his say, but I found it interesting that both of our backup DNs were both inactive and both of our D tackles were active, and thank God they were. With Jalen being out, but that was an interesting thing because it goes deeper into just who's better. It goes deeper into who do you think is going to really do their job. So I thought that was an interesting take.
Right.
We kind of talked about this, but we didn't get too into that. The Jaguars are sending Tank Bisbee to the Eagles, which officially happened today, in exchange for 5th and 6th round picks. Eagles are trading with the Jaguars. Bigsby averaged 4.6 yards per rush last year, 766 rushing yards. It's the understanding now that the Eagles are trading because it's such a big shift now with returns on kickoffs that not many are going in the end zones, and they need somebody to do that. Apparently, Will Shipley, we won't know officially till tomorrow how badly he's injured, but his ribs are pretty banged up. So maybe he's out a week, maybe he's out 2 weeks. They figured they needed another back in there. Not a bad idea, but at the same time, I'm just wondering, in your idea real fast, 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th for a guy that they pretty much were going to be deactivating every game anyway. What's your thought?
They were going to be deactivating them. Don't mean we're not going to use them, right? So
right.
That's the Jaguars that didn't have a need for them. We have a need for them. Just like Miami didn't have a need for Jay Ajayi, and we did. You know what I mean? So or the Patriots didn't feel like Blunt was good enough. Like people have needs. People have reasons why they do things. And Bigsby behind all offensive line is a different running back than behind the Jaguar offensive line.
True.
So I don't care what we gave up. We got to realize also with the compensatory picks that we got, we have 20 picks over the next 2 drafts.
Right.
20 picks over the next 2 drafts. right? 11 of them are in the top 3 rounds.
Yep.
So 5th and 6th don't matter when you realize that you got compensatory picks coming. You're going to have compensatory picks next year because everybody not going to be here next year. You're going to have people leaving. And how we just going to keep getting draft picks. It's just what it's going to be. When it's time to pay Jalen Carter, which is next year, somebody's got to go.
Yeah.
Somebody's going, compensatory picks coming in. When it's time to pay Quinyon and DeJean, somebody else got to go.
Yeah.
Compensatory picks coming in. Like Howie knows how to work this thing. And please believe me, before it's said and done, we are going to get some draft capital back.
Right. I don't disagree. This is why I tell you folks, you got to listen to this guy. At the same time, I just slightly disagree. I just think we could have gotten this guy for a little bit less. I don't think we needed to give up 2. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You think that we could have gotten for less, right? But the asking price is the asking price, right? And at this moment in time, where you're running back going out with possibly a rib injury that could last longer than what's expected, and you already understanding that your job this year is not to work Saquon to death,
right?
You need him for the postseason. AJ Dillon is coming off a neck injury. He's 1 hit away from not playing football again, right?
Right.
So you need the right type of insurance. So if they say we'll give them to you, but we need a 5th and a 6th for him, who are we to say, nah, we can't do it? What are we gonna do? We're gonna go on the street and get somebody that got cut by all 32 teams and anybody picking up? No.
Do you know Michael Haddix is still alive? We can grab him right now.
I hear you. But see, that's that's the thing. It's like, and then here's the thing. Here's another perfect example. Miles Sanders goes to the Cowboys.
Right.
He didn't do good at Carolina. Had 1 good run and fumbled the ball. There you go. So you say, why give up a 5th and 6th? Because otherwise we're gonna get somebody that's gonna do that. So and it needs multiple purpose. Returns, backup running back, put him on special teams. I don't care.
Yeah, I guess he could. But the other thing is that everything I read about him, he's not a great 3rd down blocking back, and he doesn't catch the ball particularly well either. So he's kind of a one-trick pony in the sense of that. But that's why I'm saying it's like, all right, maybe you're right. Maybe the price is the price, but who knows?
He's not a good 3rd down blocking back according to who? Jacksonville's offensive line?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if somebody's coming through, can he pick up the blitzer? I don't know.
You only got to pick up one. When you're in the backfield, right? You got to identify, right? By the read, you got to identify who is your man to pick up. If that linebacker comes, that's me. If this guy come off the end, that's me, right? That's the only thing you got to identify, right? But you got a Jacksonville offensive line, right? What if 2 people coming through? They're like, oh, he ain't a good 3rd down back blocker. Like, dude, your offensive line is trash. Like what are you talking about? I mean, I wouldn't even look good back there. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta listen. Let him get in place, right? Let's see what he can do. And here's the crazy thing. What if he ball out? Right? What if he balls out and we don't need him? What you think we getting back for him?
5th and 6th.
He's still on a rookie deal.
Oh, it's true.
You see what I'm saying? You looking at it the wrong way. We got 2 years of this dude on a rookie deal, and he ran for 800 yards last year.
Yeah.
On a trash team.
4.6. Yeah, with a trash line. Yeah, you could run from big and behind his offensive line. As an answer to that, every Looney Tunes cartoon would go, "Don't you believe it?"
Listen, I'm Team Tank right now.
I hear you.
I'm Team Tank right now, and until Will Shipley get back, that's what I'm with. When I see AJ Dillon out there, I was happy that he was getting positive yards, but I kept thinking about his neck the whole time.
I hear you. That makes good. All right, so let's keep moving here. We've signed Javon Baker to the practice squad, released Antoine Powell Ryland. For you, they sound like that name sounds familiar. Yes, Antoine Powell Ryland was the guy who led the BCS in sacks over the past 2 years, but didn't do shit with us. So I don't mind him leaving. Love seeing Patrick Johnson move to the active roster. I think that guy is completely earned it. They signed Montrell Johnson, the running back, and Holland Pierce to the practice squad, released Elijah Cooks from the practice squad. They also today waived Gabe Hall from the active roster to make move for Tank. Then they released Montrell Johnson, who they just signed because they got Tank now. And then they signed Jake Majors, a guard center, to the practice squad. Not really sure who that is. Also, a couple of interesting things. Rick Lovato landed in the Chargers. I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
So I didn't know that either. And he was just promoted to the active roster for last week's game. So we'll see if he sticks there. Mike Hilton was brought in the other day as a slot QB. There were rumors that the Eagles were maybe thinking
slot CB, not slot QB. CB. Yeah.
I said CB.
You said QB.
You heard QB. I said CB.
Okay.
Don't listen to this guy.
We'll play it back. Don't worry about
it. He's old, man. He's like 63 years old. Doesn't look it, but he's 63. So there's thoughts about moving that, but I think the Eagles said that they're going to keep. I know that Vic said today they're keeping Cooper where he is. So I think the reason they worked out the Hilton guys in case they do need him. I don't know if they're actually moving anytime soon, but that was interesting.
Yeah,
Hilton's a highly regarded, respected veteran. 13 career interceptions. Did fairly well in the slot with Cincinnati. We'll see where that goes. So trades.
His position he takes over for, right?
Right.
Avonte Maddox.
But who's backing up DeJean? Do we know?
Hilton.
But they still got
So during camp, they didn't have really anybody pegged as a slot.
Yeah, they rotated in.
Everybody was worried about who was going to be the number 2.
Right.
Who was going to be the number 2 cornerback, right? So with that time that Adoree Jackson took, the time that Ringo took, and the time that Jacorian Bennett was already another cornerback, right?
Right.
Nobody was allocating their time to play the slot other than DeJean.
Right.
And when DeJean got here, he was basically battling with Avonte Maddox.
Right.
So who's backing up DeJean if he gets dinged up?
Well, if they sign him, they haven't signed him yet, but I guess he would be that guy. I would imagine they would put him in the practice squad first. And then move them up to the active roster if they need to.
Right.
So Eagles trade since August 17th. They acquired John Mechie and a 6th from Texans for Harrison Bryant and a 5th. Eagles acquired Sam Howell and a 6th from the Vikings for a 5th and 7th. Eagles acquired Fred Johnson from the Jaguars for a 7th. Eagles traded Darian Kennard to the Packers for a 7th. And then Eagles acquired Tank Bisbee from the Jaguars for 5th and 6th. So a lot of work by Howie already this year. Crazy.
Yeah, week 1.
Vic Fangio's thing was a little interesting today. He said Jalen Carter's got to learn. Obviously, he's got to, his actions got to speak louder than his words. So he was obviously not happy, but he kept it short and sweet, which I liked. Vic also said he would prefer to leave Cooper DeJean in the nickel, as I mentioned, and then Adoree Jackson for right now is still the starting QB. And again, for now. Yeah. All right, let's get to the game. Eagles Cowboys. So we're going to go through our 4 points in a bit, but obviously the big thing was, of course, Jalen Carter spitting. We saw that Dax Prescott did spit in the direction of Jalen Carter first, and he hid behind, very cowardly, hid behind his offensive lineman, only moved forward after Jalen Carter started begging him on, and there was words exchanged. There was rumors that he kind of jabbed Jalen about his off-the-field incident back in Georgia, which we won't get into, but that is the rumor. There's nothing to confirm that. This was shades, and you and I talked about this, of Trotter getting ejected, and this, everybody remember the year? That was 2005. That was the opening game. Trotter got ejected in 2005, and that was the first game after their Super Bowl appearance. That was at Atlanta, and it was the warm-ups, and he got into a shoving match with Kevin Mathis. So Kevin Mathis also got ejected, but we had our major guy was Trotz, and that was a huge loss for us. Didn't like the Nolan Smith taunting penalty, even though I didn't think it was egregious, but he's got to also mature and get better along with Jalen. You just can't do anything above somebody or even in their direction. If he had turned and his shoulder was to him, that would have been different.
Or his teammate would have got in front of him.
Right. And his teammate, and they would have flexed together, something like that. But you cannot stand above somebody, even though he didn't look at him. He looked straight. But you cannot do that over someone. So he's got to get better, man, because that was a big penalty. That's a 15-yard penalty instead of a 2-yard loss. So That was big. Eagles had 9 penalties for 110 yards. And for 9 penalties, but they had 7 penalties for 93 yards just in the first half. Eagles were such a smart, disciplined team last year, and that is not a good start. So they need like a 180. I mean, I want to see no more than like 3 penalties in Kansas City, because I don't think if you go to Kansas City and you are getting 7, 8, 9 penalties, you are not going to win that game, regardless of turnovers and Patrick Mahomes.
Absolutely.
The teams combined to score on the first 8 drives. I thought this was interesting, and then combined to score on none of their next 8. That is the craziest thing.
So I like to credit our stopping them was halftime adjustments.
Oh yeah. And they did too. That's the interesting part is they let me ask you this. So we're going to get into more stuff about the game. This is something for our viewers too to get some insight, because I was reading up a little more on this, but I want to get your thoughts. So everybody's been kind of texting me too and saying, okay, they did the boxes, right? So they did the 4 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And they did this zone, 4 boxes and stuff, and it seemed to work really well almost throughout the whole game. Even though the Eagles got theirs, it was a lot of Jalen Hurts making things happen, which was outstanding. He played an incredible game. How do you stop those 4 boxes? Because clearly it wasn't going along. And I'll throw this additive in there. Somebody did a little breakdown on Catch 22 that AJ didn't seem to be running as crisp routes as he normally does too. So does that factor in, number one? And number two, again, how do you stop those 4 boxes? What is the play you need?
Well, one of the plays I think works well when you have 4 boxes, because they're in a zone.
Right.
So you have windows by which receivers are required to go find where to sit, right? Because there's no deep threat in a zone situation.
Right.
Really, you got to find your pockets. It's either going to be the first third, the middle third, or the deep third. But you got to go find a pocket and sit in and get in between so your quarterback can see you. You turn around, get the ball, and go down or try to get some extra yards. That's basically it's basically dink and dunk. It's almost like whack-a-mole. It's like look around, boom, boom, boom. It's quick. It's not something that you if you stand back here like this in a zone and the only thing that you can see twice in a zone is crossing patterns. Because you got a window here, you got a window here, and you got a window there. Now, if you got somebody jumping this side, you missed your window because you have to get them when they're clearing a person, because that person's not going to follow them, but so far, they don't have that responsibility.
And it's too quick. You have to make that instantaneous decision. Otherwise,
you have to make a decision where and remember, you only got, so you can't wait for Devontae to run all the way across.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can't, unless there's a pick play or there's something that happens that lets him get that open. You can't let him go through 3 windows. He's not going to go through 3 windows.
Because there's always somebody waiting for you in the next window.
Somebody's always waiting. So unless they're too far up and he kind of floats back away from them, then you can kind of float it over the top. But then you got to worry about the safety coming down. So in his zone, all the eyes are on the quarterback. They're not even looking at they kind of see the receiver, but they're looking to see where his eyes are to see where he's going to throw the ball.
Gotcha. Okay.
So when the quarterback drops back or he's looking at the coverage, it's one thing to see the coverage, but it's another thing to hike the ball and look and see that nobody's back is to you.
Right.
Nobody's back is to you. That's a clear indication that there is zone. Yeah. Like nobody back is turned to me. Right. That's why you see Jalen run when he runs, because they're in man. And that's why he gets so far, because the cornerback is running with the receiver.
Right.
He hears the crowd yelling. He like, did he throw it? Then he turn around like, oh, shit, that dude running up my back. It's like, yeah. So that's for people that don't know football or people that don't understand why he ain't throwing to AJ. AJ ain't open. Right. AJ's open. No, he not. He not open. He not open the way Jalen want him to be open.
Right.
That's the part y'all got to realize.
Yeah, and I just said it was just one of those where, like, again, so a guy was breaking it down and said it wasn't like he was not open, but he also just didn't run crisp routes. I mean, we don't know if there was a hamstring was still an issue, but I did look at a couple of the catch 22s, and the way he was running with somebody, and then he just would float. He didn't really run a sharp, crisp route. He kind of floated. And the one couple of routes he ran really well in the second half, of course, the one he was open and he caught. But again, it's one of those where I don't know if it's going to be a thing or not. I mean, they were just pointing out it wasn't every play, but it just didn't seem like he was running the AJ routes that he ran last year.
But then again, like, so understand this. Like, we got to know this for a fact. Like, we got to understand that AJ and Jalen and the rest of the offense have an understanding of what the coverages are.
Right.
AJ know when he gonna get the ball when he ain't. He know when the coverage is advantageous to him. Same thing with Devontae. If Devontae line up on the outside and he see that it's a too high safety and this dude is pressing him, he looking over at Jalen like, yo, this is man to man. Like this, like, hey, looking. And Jalen would do like he did in the Super Bowl and look at AJ and go, yo, this dude is by us. We going right here. We shooting right here. That's why if AJ lines up and sees the dude playing off, right, and he sees a safety, he like, and his route is to run a post. He like, I'm running right to the safety. Like, what? Like, you think he gonna be running crisp with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you said the magic word, so that's exactly what they said, though. So it's interesting you said that.
Yeah.
You said the magic words, and that's what they said. They said AJ knows when he's getting the ball. AJ also knows when he doesn't get the ball. And they said, loosely saying it, they said he seemed to telegraph. That's why they weren't really pressing on him, because they could almost tell that he was expecting not to get the ball. So they didn't really cover him. I mean, they did, but they didn't.
No, they were in the coverage they needed to be for the route that he was going to run. Right. So if a man is playing off and I know I'm not doing a comeback,
right,
my eyes don't get bright. I know my route here is a post.
But is he giving away that though to people? And that's why
here's the thing. The thing about it is this: when he takes off to run his route, you know you're gonna run a post. And anybody that don't know what a post is, that's up and over towards the goalpost. Like it's up and over to the goalpost, right?
Flag route is to the inside.
Right. So if he know he's running, right, that route, and he knows the safety is automatically mirroring him, that means that he's running, the cornerback is playing behind coverage, so he's going to let him go past him, run to the safety, and he got him covered. There's nothing he can do at that point.
Right. But is he telegraphing that?
He's not telegraphing it. They're telegraphing it. Okay. They already telling him what coverage they're in. So he already know my route is right to where this safety is.
Right.
There's nothing I can do to change it, because if I go the wrong way and Jalen let this ball go,
it's an interception. Yeah, it's yeah.
So yeah, you're right. He probably don't put all the oomph in it. You gotta remember, this dude gotta run 60 plays a game.
Well, you're getting paid $30 million to do that shit.
Listen, F that dude that say he wasn't giving it his all. I want his lazy fat ass to go out there and run 60 routes and get back to the huddle with 30 seconds before the next play.
Hey man, you pay me $30 million. You should see what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it all.
I hear you, man.
So the Cowboys started to blitz and stack the box in the runs. We talked about this after the game. I said the only one that I saw that Jalen didn't do a good job on, everything over the most night, he did pretty terrifically, but there was a blitz off the right-hand side. AJ was wide open for a bit, like more than a second, and he throws right there, and this guy didn't even jump. He could have had that, and that would have been an easy play. We've always talked about that. It's sort of a little bit of his Achilles heel still. He's matured in unbelievable ways, obviously MVP of the Super Bowl, but that's the one I think is still the Achilles heel for him, that he's not recognized that because he needs to recognize it like that, throw that, and then go. He's still a little hesitant, but I like that. I think the reason he's hesitant is he doesn't want to make that turnover. And if he made a turnover in that Cowboys game, that would have made a complete game change.
What I do, so I don't like criticizing Jalen a lot,
right?
Because I appreciate what he does do. Like I don't worry about what he could do better. I appreciate what he does do. I will give a comparison. When Carson Wentz was the quarterback, Carson Wentz he made quick decisions. Like he knew where he was throwing the ball. Like he knew where the ball was going. He had one read, two reads, it was gone.
Right.
And that was it. When he got hurt and Foles came in, they were still doing the read option. And with a read option, it's ball in the gut. He's either giving the ball and let it go. And everything was quick.
Right.
And we were used to that. And Jalen Hurts reminds me more of McNabb than Wentz or Foles. Because he used to say McNabb used to hold on to the ball for too long. He used to say he used to hold on to the ball for too long. But McNabb had the ability, because of his offensive line, to stand back there and wait for a second route to open up.
Right.
Like, you can run your first route and be like, nah, that didn't work. Go somewhere else. Like that's how much time McNabb used to have. But I think
when you had Charles Johnson as your primary receiver.
Right. But then here's the thing. We had a screen game where McNabb needed to get rid of the ball fast.
Right.
Like, we had a screen game, but like, we don't do screens that much anymore. I never see us run screens anymore.
Rarely. We do, but rarely.
Very rarely.
And it's surprising because I think we could do pretty well with that.
I think Saquon and a screen type threat would be insane. And then like a double screen where you do a fake to Saquon and then do a screen to Goddard.
Dallas, yeah. Dallas always runs a pretty good one too. I mean,
he does, but like it's very rare. Like, it's very rare. It's not like Andy Reid. Andy Reid used to do it all the time. Like, it's almost like a given. If it's third and long, a screen play is coming. If it's a blitz down, a screen play is coming. And if it's 2 or 3 yards from the goal line, it's going to be a shovel pass. Like, what Andy Reid is going to call.
That's right. Yeah, the only thing that was concerning, and we'll talk a little bit more about this too, and Kevin Patullo's play calling, because they started blitzing more in the second half. They stacked the boxes, and Jalen Hurts checking out of runs, but it's like the receivers weren't getting open, and Dallas was dialing up more pressure in the second. So a lot of variables to consider. What was the issues going on there? Was it Kevin not calling the right plays? Was it just receiver not get open? Whatever it was, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Interesting, the Cowboys drives on Thursday night. TD, field goal, fumble, punt, downs. And that's incredible. They had 16 first downs on their first 4 drives. They had 5 in the next 4.
Well, guess what?
Beautiful.
Remember this time last year? Well, we keep having slow starts. We didn't have a slow start this year. We had no slow start. Well, you know what? I don't know. Let me stop speaking too soon. We didn't have a slow start in Brazil last year either.
Well, we did, because he had 3 turnovers in the first 5 series. Remember?
Yeah, but see the defense. Remember, we were up first, right?
No, remember they got up 13 because they scored 2 field goals and a touchdown, I think. So it was only like, remember, we got out of a lot of they only scored like 2 field goals because the defense tightened up.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Remember, he threw 2 picks like almost back to back.
Yeah,
so we were down early, but they didn't crush us. If they had gotten like 2 touchdowns and a field goal, like 17-0, whole different game.
Right. I got you. I remember now. Yeah.
So it's one of those where Kellen Moore didn't start great either. I get it. He's got to feel everybody out a little bit. It's just, it's his first game, so I'm going to live in leeway, just like you with Hurts. You got to give a little leeway certain times and see what happens. CD is great, by the way, but he abused Jackson. I don't know who the answer is. I don't know if you put Bennett in there or give Ringo a char, but I don't know. He's going to stick with Jackson. Maybe Jackson rebounds. But I think you're not going to hurt yourself by putting Ringo or Bennett out there just to switch up, just to see what happens.
I mean, I think, I don't know. You're dealing with a way better quarterback this week.
But here's the other thing. They don't have like 2 of their top guys. So Rice ain't going to be there. I know. I mean, he's going to find the right people. He's going to find Kelsey.
Hollywood.
But my thing is, even if with a better quarterback, a way better quarterback, if Jackson doesn't at least ball out a little bit against lesser receivers, even with a better quarterback, I think it gets cut the guy, because this is where you got to move on. You may get hitting in there or something and do something, but you got to mix this up.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I thought Hurts was under a little too much pressure all night. I don't think the offensive line was at their best on last Thursday.
Nah, they didn't look in sync at all. Like, they didn't look positive. Like, it didn't look good at all. And we could tell that Mekhi Becton is sorely missed.
Yes.
And Dickerson wasn't himself.
Dickerson definitely had that injury with his back, certainly affected him, because obviously when Barkley landed on him, that was it. Like that, just threw him a thing. But you can tell he wasn't at 100% because he was not playing well.
And I hadn't seen Jordan Mailata get beat. He got beat a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, there's all the whole team. I mean, I think Lane still looked pretty good. I think Cam was all right, but it just didn't look like the rest of those guys were really together. So I know Stout's going to get them all done, but that was a little concerning that they just didn't look their best.
Mm-hmm.
To me, one of the biggest plays of the game is Jake Elliott nailing that 58-yarder. That was amazing. Because last year he looked terrible at 50 yards. I mean, they weren't even getting near it. They were sailing off to the right and falling short like 10 yards. Yeah. It was ugly. And he just nailed it. I mean, it wasn't even like he kind of made it. He had that with like 5 or 6 yards to spare.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was one of the biggest plays of the game. By the way, only 3 kickers have made field goals of at least 58 yards. Matt Prater, 10, Brandon Aubrey, 7, Greg Zerline, 6, and Elliott's 83% accuracy from at least 58 yards and out is highest in NFL history.
Nice.
And by the way, speaking of special teams, I thought Brandon Mann continues to be an underappreciated person. He had some great punts.
Yeah.
And he has looked everything that we needed him to be on punting. So good for you, Brandon Mann. Shout out to him. There were some positives to take away, I think. Dotson, a perfectly laid out plan, by the way. That play call was perfect.
Yep.
So that was a good one. They did score on 4 straight drives. So obviously the opening script was pretty good. It's just we got to find the adjustments in the second half. I think he's got to work on a little bit. The Cowboys limited chunk plays up with that 4-quarter zone. So of Hurdy's 33 dropbacks, which is unusual. So they for all his 33 dropbacks, they played 4-quarter zone for every single one.
Yeah.
Dallas, by the way, they were in man coverage at an above average rate in 2024. So that is extremely rare for them. So I'm sure they did it just to mix him up. And as you mentioned, by the way, Brown really thrives in man coverage. So that's, again, why he didn't do it. So let's go through the individual players and we'll get to some team stuff. So I gave Jalen an A-. Only because again, it was like you wanted to see a little bit more of the overall game, but I thought he pretty much won the game for him. I don't know what you had.
From offense alone, when I did my grades, I gave about I did offense, defense, special teams, and coaching.
Okay.
So offense, I gave the offense an A.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, and the reason why is because, like you said, in the beginning of the game, it was 0 turnovers, first of all, and they scored when they needed to. Like, it wasn't a situation that you ever felt like they couldn't score. They had some penalties and some knucklehead situations that caused them not to continue drives, but I don't think it was anything that Dallas did to make our offense look like, oh man, they're gonna kill us.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And then the other thing, the reason that I didn't give the offense such a great high mark is because Barkley also faced a stacked box, but he only averaged 2.8 yards a carry. And similar to Hurts being under too much pressure, the offensive line did not open up a lot of holes either.
Well, I think I was about to say, I don't know if it was Barkley. I think of the line was it. And I don't like, why weren't they pulling?
None. No pulls at all.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know something. I don't know. Maybe it's something we don't know. Maybe they didn't want to show too much to Dallas.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. And it almost seemed like a little bit of a preseason game, honestly.
Yeah,
I think they were trying to figure shit out.
100%.
Padula didn't drop a lot of deep passes, which is fine because they were playing 4 quarters. That makes sense. So obviously the wide receivers didn't get a great grade. Dallas Goedert, 7 catches on 7 targets, which I think is great. 44 yards. So I thought Dallas played a pretty decent game.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is that they didn't do well on the blitz pickup. So, and you're right, Malata got beat a few times.
Right.
So just a sloppy opening game on the side. The D-line got off to obviously a tough start with Jalen Carter. And I thought, they did let Miles Sanders get away for a big gain. So I didn't have the defensive line. I had him in a C. But overall, as I said, they hung in there, which was nice. I thought the biggest thing in the defense was Bond and Campbell.
Oh, 100%.
They played great.
The linebackers played great. I mean, it's crazy that every pass they tried to get to a tight end was broken up by a linebacker. It was like, and it was crazy because it was in coverage too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I thought that was great. I gave them an A. Obviously, the cornerbacks I gave a C because, again, the rough night of just Adoree Jackson just had a tough night. And not everybody was great. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell played well, but he was called for a DPI, and it was legit. Bennett came in for one play, got caught for a DPI.
Mhm.
So it was a rough night for their thing. And I think, again, they got to figure their stuff out, and we'll go from there. I gave an A+ to, I think, Mann and Elliott were absolutely great. So,
and a kick coverage.
yeah, and the kick coverage was great. Absolutely, you're right. I've got to mention that. Don't want to leave them out. So bottom line, I think the Eagles are going to have to deal with everybody's best, and Dallas certainly brought their A game, and we got through it and we won. So I think that says a lot about the Eagles and what they can do. All right, so let's get to our quick 4 points.
Yep.
And our drama queen and everything else. Let's get to it. So get me to your first 4 point.
My first 4 point was a quick start by the offense. Like, that was important to me. Like, the fact that, football's here, we're getting started. They go down scoring their first drive. We go down like, y'all score 7, we score 7. Like, do something, say something, smoke something, do something. I mean, like, I felt great about that. Like, I was like, man, we moved that ball like it was nothing. You know what I mean? So that's why I was just like, yeah, y'all don't have anything for us. So that was big. That was big for us.
Yeah, I 100% agree that you're right. That was a great counter punch to their punch. Oh, you want to go out and score? We can do the same thing. So we'll do this all night long. Loved it. Great point. Yep. My number one, of course, to start off was Carter. I just thought that set a bad tone right away for that defense. That defense got bulldozed for the first half. I think they were it was a gut punch. They weren't expecting it. Right. They're kind of like looking around like, who do we look to now kind of thing? Because the leaders on that team is certainly like Bond and Mitchell, but Carter's known to be like the guy that they all look to set that tone. So I think they were kind of looking around like a little bit of like their chickens with their head cut off. So that was my first point. Go ahead. Second point.
Offensive line issues. Like, we talked about it before. Like, so for me, like, our games are won in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. Defensive line took a hit. Offensive line looked kind of lethargic out there. They looked kind of mediocre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They looked like they was getting pushed around a little bit. And I'm like, y'all getting pushed around by these dudes? Like, what's going to happen when we play the Giants? You know what I'm saying? Like for real. So that was a concern for me.
I couldn't agree more. As I said, it just was an unusual game with all the pressure and no holes. I think Stout's going to clean that up. So I have no problem for next week. I think Stout's going to be like, first of all, Stout yells at them even when they have a good game.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they're going to go through this week with that yelling at that. My thing was the second half D. I thought was outstanding. The way that they took it upon themselves to get the gut punch, figure it out. We're not looking to jail anymore. We're not crying about this like little girls. We're going to get this and we're going to get it done. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Your third point.
Special teams. So knowing that Turpin's on the field, knowing that he has an opportunity and the ability to get up the field, like, so we either booted it out of the back of the end zone, and then when we kicked it to them when they had a return, we stopped them. They got minimum there. We didn't have to punt to the second half. Right? We had to punt to the second half. Then the punts was on point. He was kicking corner kicks. Getting them within the 10-yard line, 15-yard line. I'm like, yo, this dude is balling. And then Jake goes out there and kicks the field goal down the middle, like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah. 58.
I mean, in his form, I'm like, oh, this dude been off season just practicing.
That could have been 65, man. He could have been, tying up the league record there. Okay, good deal. My third point was the second half. Just again, we talked about just some concerns. You'd think it with the chemistry that offense has over the years, knowing each other so well, just something would have been a little different, but I was just really underwhelmed by that whole thing. Give me your fourth point.
Fourth point is just the linebackers, the impressive with the linebackers and how they played. And it's like, Zach Bond had enough time to try to get that dude ball out a couple of times. Like, all right, I'm not going to get it. Let me tackle him. That's hilarious. I mean, he walked the dude down and had time to play with him before he got to the end zone. And then Campbell didn't look like a rookie at all. No,
he looked great. And I assume there's still going to be
lost. He didn't. And there's the difference. There's the difference right there. Remember when Kobe Dean got out there? When Kobe Dean got out there when he first started playing, we was like, man, this dude don't know. Now, I wasn't no question with this dude.
Yeah,
I'm like, who is that? Who we get him from? Like, that dude didn't just come out of college. Yes, he did came out of college.
Yeah, it's amazing because I figured he would have had a little bit of a learning curve in the first 4 or 5 games, but he may not. He may come out balling right away, which is great.
I can't wait to see them blitz that dude. I want to see what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to have to now for a little bit. And then my fourth point was Bis Patullo. I just need to see more from him. Good opening script, good opening half, but your adjustments in the second half need a little bit of work. And you also got to talk to this offensive line. Like, listen, hey, you're giving up pressure. You're not opening up holes. You got to get stout, or somebody's got to get on these guys and do some better. All right, give me your game ball.
Jalen Hurts.
Yep, I got the same one, so no changes there. Drama queen.
Dallas fans.
I got Carter, of course, because that was just so much drama for the first game that we just didn't need all that stuff. So anyway, yep. We did all our grades. So let's get into our top 5 and then our KC preview. So what do you got for your number 5 on your top 5 for the NFL?
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Los Angeles Chargers. Interesting. Okay. My number 5 is the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
I like the Denver this year, man. Denver's.
I like them this year, but did you see them play this weekend?
Yeah, they didn't look great. I know they didn't. They
don't look like he gonna be that good.
Yeah, so they didn't look great this weekend, but they won, and that defense is something special, and their offensive line is still very good. So they got the trenches, which is always scary. All right,
okay.
Your number 4.
I have Green Bay.
Green Bay. Okay, very good. I have Chargers as number 4 for me.
Okay.
I do like the Chargers. I think Harbaugh's got something. I think they have a pretty good squad. Beating KC, even in Sao Paulo, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't have Worthy, they didn't have a lot of their things too. But, Mahomes is Mahomes, and he almost brought them back.
Hey, like I say, the Chiefs are 0-2 in the last 2 nighttime games they played. so they just are like...
We don't have nighttime, but we got 4 o'clock. I'll take it.
We got 4 o'clock. It'll be night by the time it's over, baby.
I'll put a blanket over that roof.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Chargers at 4. All right, who you got number 3?
The Ravens.
Ravens, interesting. Okay, even with the loss. All right.
Even with the loss, 40 points. Putting up 40 points is putting up 40 points.
True.
I don't care what you say. That's the defense that lost that game for them, not their offense.
I have them at 6. I have the Ravens at 6. And even though Denver didn't play as good a game as the Ravens, I gotta give Denver just because I think
I don't, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you put the Ravens on the field and Denver on the field, who you picking? I'm picking the Ravens.
Let me know what time of year it is. Let me know what the schedule is. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 for you.
Buffalo.
Who you got? Buffalo. All right. We got him flipped a little bit, but I got Eagles at number 2.
You gotta be out of your mind.
I gotta piss you off.
That's why I don't even know why I do this show. You gotta be out of your cotton picking mind, man.
Only to piss you off.
The Eagles second.
Just to upset you, man. It's never because I want to. It's just to upset you.
Oh my God, you crowning these dudes and they ain't done nothing. Nothing.
I got the Bills at 1 and you got the Eagles at 1. So yeah. So that's why we have to differ, folks, because if we're the same people, nobody would care.
Let me tell y'all something, audience. Let me explain something. Where's my camera at? Right here. Okay, let me explain.
Wait, camera 2, camera 1, camera 3?
Let me explain something to y'all. This man right here, this dude right here, this dude likes to be miserable. That's why we used to be called Broad Street. We used to be called the 4 for 4, and we on the Broad Street Misery platform.
Network. Yeah.
Because he loves to be doubtful and be like, oh no, we not as good as we are the best thing in the NFL. And this dude got Buffalo over top of us. I can't wait to play Buffalo. I'm about to change my pick. I can't believe this dude played Buffalo after week 1 and we the defending Super Bowl champs. You can't beat the champs. You can't be on top of the champs if you ain't beat the champs.
Oh my God, too funny. All right, man. Now, I just love pissing him off.
Week 1, he got us starting off at number 2. That's crazy. That is great. That's crazy. That is crazy. And you call yourself an Eagles fan? That's crazy.
Like I tell all my ex-girlfriends, and there's a lot of them. You gotta earn my love.
What is bad, dude?
You gotta earn my love, baby. All right, here we go.
Let's preview Kansas City, man. Golly, I'm about to get my blood pressure up.
All right, so let's get going. All right, now we are on to Kansas City Eagles. So Eagles are playing at Kansas City this Sunday, 4:25. It is the game of the week on Fox, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be getting, unfortunately, Tom Brady and his very analysis.
Last time Tom Brady did a broadcast, we won a Super Bowl.
I know it's very true.
I'm just saying.
Actually, he did us. I think he did us 3 times. I think he did. Oh no, he did. He did Washington and he did Super Bowl. So we got him for the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. So that's 2 times.
Yeah,
I'll take that. That's right. All right. So Eagles coming in. I believe they are the favorite. Am I getting that right? By the way, Phillies won 9-3, which is always nice too.
Nice.
Always a good time. So week 2, let me just see what's out there right now because I want to make sure. All right. So Eagles, Chiefs. Eagles are 1.5 faves. So you typically give the home team 3 points. So the fact that the Eagles are up a little bit shows a thing. I think that's only because, again, that the Chiefs lost, the Eagles won, and then they're also down Xavier Worthy. They're down a couple of people. They're banged up a little bit. So I think that's the only reason why. But I still feel like this is going to be a tough game. So right now, you still got Mahomes. Hollywood Brown's still going to be an issue. Our leading receiver, by the way, has 59 yards.
Yeah.
And that's Dotson, or basically with 2 catches.
Right.
So they got a good guy. Obviously, they have a very good defense. You got Steve Spags. They're running that defense, who always gives us trouble, other than the Super Bowl, apparently. So give me your preview of this. I have a couple things written down, but give me your preview of what you think is going to happen on Sunday.
I think they run the same type of defense that they ran in the Super Bowl. Their goal is going to be to stop Saquon. That's the only way they win this game. If they let that part of it go, they are of the like that Dallas was. We want Jalen Hurts to beat us.
So
I try to do.
So let's talk about the running game for a sec. So as our part of our preview, so the Chargers rookie running back Hampton, the number 22 overall pick, he was out of NC, the Tar Heels, which are a mess with Belichick. Right. By the way, did you see Belichick is non-gratis in New England now?
No. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
He was throwing a lot of shade on them, and it seemed like out of nowhere.
I don't know.
Anyway, so he rushed for 48 yards on 15 carries, 3.2 yards per attempt, roughly 1 yard less than the Chargers clip in 2024. The Chiefs limited him, by the way, without loading the box.
No, right. Right.
So Hampton faced a box of 8+ defenders on just 20% of his carries. So Chris Jones and Nick Bolton led the way with 2 stops apiece. So you said they're going to load up. Do you think they will? Do you think they'll change it for Saquon? I mean, I know Hampton's not Barkley, but it's interesting that they only went light on the box.
They're going to run a similar offense that they ran in the Super Bowl, and it's very similar to what Eberflus was running this past weekend with Dallas. It's like, you'd say the 4 quarters, but, it'll be a situation where, and then, Spags likes to blitz. So, you're going to deal with some blitzes. It's just if Jalen knows how to recognize when it's coming, where it's coming from, and what to do.
Gotcha. Well, that's the thing, and Spags likes to dial up creative blitz packages. So,
right.
That's going to happen. And by the way, he did have a few for Herbert on Friday night in São Paulo. So,
but they're used to them.
What's that?
They're used to those, though.
Yeah. And I know Harbaugh knows that stuff too. Obviously, as a former quarterback, he knows a lot about that stuff, which I'm sure he passed along to Herbert. So, I think with our offense, I think we're going to see a bigger day on our offense, even though they have a very stout defense. I don't think we're going to run up like 35, 40 points. I think we can get close to 30. My biggest thing is how much their offense can be limited. We talked about this. Xavier Worthy has a dislocated shoulder that is popped back in. They think he can wear a harness and play. I don't see it any way that guy's playing for at least 2 to 3 weeks, because I had 7 dislocations. That sucker is sore for at least a week to a week and a half to 2 weeks. It's sore. It's just sore. Any movement at all, it hurts like a mofo. And you cannot sleep on that thing. You can't even, you have to sit in a chair and sleep, because any movement in that's going to pop it right back out again. So I don't see how he is going to play. And if he does, he will not be a factor. He is going to be a decoy. So I'm not worried about that at all. The question is now is how much is he going to rely on his Hollywood Brown, his other guys that he has, as well as Kelsey. We'll see what happens. Do you think their offense can score more than 17 points than the usual stuff we'll give up?
You talk about the Eagles?
The Chiefs.
Oh, can their offense score more than 17 points? Well, that just depends on their defense and our defense and their offense. I mean, I don't really care about the receivers that they have available to them because Mahomes can make it happen. I don't think Kelsey is a factor for them.
He wasn't a factor last year. He said he came in great shape this year, but I just don't see him being the player he once was. I don't think you have to give him double coverage anymore. I think you can put Campbell on him and be fine.
I still felt like this is going to be their Super Bowl. I think their motivation is way more intense for them than it will be for us. Like I said, before we did our preview a week ago, I have us losing this game.
Yeah, I had us winning.
I had us losing for the simple fact of, if you're going to lose a game, lose on the road and lose out of the conference.
Yeah, I would rather lose this game, and we both talked this. We'd rather lose this game than the game.
Anything. Like, my whole thing is I'll chalk this one up to second game of the season. Like,
yeah,
but don't let us win it
and then lose to Tampa. I know.
No,
I'm with you.
No, don't let us win it and it be impressive. Because then I'm on a whole other path at that point. Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
All right. So we both feel we could lose this game, and we're both fine with losing this game because it's out of conference. But at the end of the day, I think the Kansas City just has too much. The biggest thing with me is the big injuries to both those players. That's the only thing that makes it a level playing field.
You're on the side of the Eagles are going to win because they are injured.
Yeah.
I'm on the side of
just because they're banged up.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't want our offense to look as lethargic as it did passing wise.
I agree.
Because then it seems like it's a concern, right? But then I feel like if we come out and we have a great passing offense, Saquon really doesn't do anything, but our defense looks horrible, I'm still concerned. You see what I'm saying? Like, I almost don't want to. I don't want the same result as I had last week because now I'm concerned that we can only go win one way, right?
Right.
I want to see us win another way. Now I want to see our defense do better. But our defense is going against a way better offense than we did against Dallas. Dallas is CeeDee Lamb, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, I agree because the only thing I say is if we have a shootout and Kansas City wins in the end, I would have a lot of more concerns in that aspect as well.
Right.
All right. So there's our all preview. Let's get it. Let's end this night. We're going to end it a little short at 55 minutes, but let's get to some interesting things. So according to Elias Sports, Nick Sirianni is the 8th head coach in NFL history to start their career with 5 consecutive season opening victories.
Nice.
He has joined Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, Sean McVay, Mike Shanahan, Raymond Berry, George Allen, and Potsy Clark. You remember Potsy Clark? Come on, man.
I remember Potsy from Happy Days.
I was gonna say, I think he was the butt of most of the jokes on Happy Days. Potsy Clark. That's pretty impressive. With the win over the Cowboys, by the way. You ready for this?
Yeah.
And Eagles fans, you should listen up to this because this is huge. With the win over the Cowboys, ready? The Eagles have now even their all-time franchise record at 639, 639, and 27. The first time they have been at 500 since. That's part of the trivia question. What's it?
1933.
Ah, you bastard. Yeah, you gave it away. All right. December of 1933 is the last time the Eagles were 500. Is that insane? It took them almost 100 years to get back to 500.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just shows you how shitty they were from 1960 to 1978. That was the shittiest run any team could ever have.
Right.
By the way, just so you know, and by the way, they're 639, 27. When they were last 500, they were 3-3-1 in their whole history. Yeah. And that was their first season. The Eagles were as many as 96 games under 500 into the 1987 season. 97 games. So they're almost 100 games under 500. As recently as November of 2021, Nick Sirianni's first season, they were still 33 games under 500. So believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you may like or not like Nick Sirianni, he has brought them to 500 all time. That is huge.
Who's the most responsible for putting a dent in those?
That's Andy Reid.
Andy Reid all day.
Andy Reid put a dent in that mofo like you would not believe.
So to be an Eagles fan between the years of 1999 and 2007 was a time. Like
really, it was he was 99 to 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
Or 2012, because 2013 was thing. So that run, but really it was 2000 to like 2008. That was the long run. We had like one bad year in 2005 because T.O. went bullshit. But really that run of 8 years was magnificent.
That was a great time. I mean, 99 wasn't a slouch to me. I mean, I was like, yo, we winning games we would have normally lost. You know what I mean? Like, I was happy about that. You know what I mean? Then Donovan got in. I'm like, all right, cool. We all right. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. So, here's some other good stuff. Although Byron Young and Jihad Campbell were on the Sanders fumble, Campbell was officially credited with the forced fumble, making him the first Eagle since the NFL began tracking forced fumbles in 1999, credited with one in his first NFL game.
Nice.
By the way, 3 players forced a fumble in their second game as Eagles. Can you name those 3? It's part of the trigger. So that's a little trivia question. That's going to be tough because it's not 3 people you would ever think, but their second game, they forced a fumble. All right. So there's one of the trivia. The other one is Elliott's 58-yard field goal is tied for 5th longest in Eagles history. And Elliott now has 5 of the 6 longest field goals ever as an Eagle. 61-yarder versus the Giants. And also a 61-yarder versus the Vikings in 2023, a 59-yarder versus the Bills in 2023, a 58-yarder against the Panthers in 2021, and a 58-yarder this past Thursday night. So the longest field goal by an Eagles kicker other than Elliott was who? There's the other one. Who was the other longest of the top 6? There's only one other person that has one of the longest field goals in Eagles history. Who was that? What year was it? And who did it? So I need to know who forced a fumble. That's a real tough one. So you have to get that one. That's a genius. But this is an easy one. Who was the other Eagles kicker to kick one of the longest field goals in Eagles history? What year was it and how far was it? By the way, the Eagles won a game despite no interceptions and no sacks for the first time in 12 years, Jay. 12 years.
Nice.
Last time they did that was a 30-24 win over the Lions late in the 2013 season. The Eagles are 6-19. Since sacks became an official stat in 1982 when they don't record an interception or sack. So that was pretty impressive. That no sacks, no interceptions. That's an impressive win.
Yeah, we could have had 2 of them, though.
I hear you. And so, by the way, the Eagles now have won 11 straight home games. That's the second longest streak in franchise history and the longest since a 14-game streak. When did that happen? They also won 11 in a row from 91 through 93. Which is crazy. So even that 92 season, we had a good season and stuff. So their streak is the longest in the NFL currently right now. But they have, so the 11th is tied. Again, the second longest streak in franchise history. It's now tied for the 11th and one back in the 90s. But the longest is a 14-game streak. When was that done? So there's your 3 trivia questions for the night. Let us know what you think. Let us know what's going on. So again, as always, we want to hear your comments, your suggestions, anything you got. We always want to hear from you. Please follow us on Apple Tunes, Spotify, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're going to have clips out there all week long. Thank you guys for joining us. We're here every week, 9 o'clock Tuesday night. We're going to wrap up all the Eagles stuff. We talk about the NFL as well. And we're here to give you insights because Jay has just enough anger for the rest of us that we need it.
Number 2. That's crazy, number 2. That's crazy.
I might put him at 4 next week just to see if he leaves the show. All right, as always, this is the Broad Street Misery Network. We are the Fly Eagles Fly podcast. I am Corey Alexander along with
J-Bliss.
We are here every Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Please follow us. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week.
Peace.